Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and yes, many of you have seen this already, but one of my videos from this channel, a Bible review, was featured last week in the opening monologue of Jimmy Kimmel Live, one of the three big network television primetime talk shows here in the United States. But what many of you probably don't know is that I've also been on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon and Late Night with Stephen Colbert. In this video, I'm going to tell you about those two experiences, as well as my experience on Kimmel, which I did not know was going to happen until it had already aired. I'm going to tell you about that, tell you how I found out about it, and how I feel about it. Last Friday morning, I woke up, I was getting ready to start my day, making coffee for me and Becca, feeding my dog Louie. I looked down at my phone, and I had several missed messages. The first one that I read said, "Hey, I saw you on Jimmy Kimmel last night. You look great. I'm so happy for you." It's from an old family friend that I hadn't talked to in a long time. And honestly, I read that text message and I thought, she must have me confused with someone else. Maybe there was someone on Jimmy Kimmel who looked like me. And then I saw another text message from someone else that said something similar. So I hopped onto YouTube. I went to the Jimmy Kimmel Live YouTube channel. And sure enough, there I saw one of his most recent videos was his monologue from the night before. And the thumbnail, the cover photo said, "Bible Trumper." And it had a picture of Jimmy next to Donald Trump. And I thought, oh wow, I've reviewed the God Bless the USA Bible from Donald Trump. And not from Donald Trump, it's from Lee Greenwood, but Donald Trump promoted it. I reviewed that a couple months ago. It's my most watched video ever. So of course, I pressed play on the video, and about halfway through his opening monologue, Jimmy started talking about Lee Greenwood and Donald Trump and the Bible. And then this happened.
Good for you guys. Squeeze as much cash out of the Word of God as you can. Now, this is the Bible they're selling. There's a pastor named Tim Wildsmith who runs a YouTube channel. He reviews Bibles. He's got more than 800 Bible review videos.
Did that really just happen? It did. He said my name. He showed my video on Late Night. He's actually getting ready to use my video for about another 90 seconds in his monologue, and he's going to cut back and forth from my video and make some commentary about the Bible. Friends, I did not know that this was going to happen. Many of you have asked me, are they allowed to do that? Yes, they are. I'm going to explain more about that later. I did not know that was going to happen. I was thinking after I saw the thumbnail, well, maybe they're going to mention my Bible review. But no, Jimmy said my name, talked about my channel. I didn't even know that I have done 800 videos on my channel. I found out about that from Jimmy Kimmel. That is absolutely crazy. But guess what? This is not the first time I've been on a late night opening monologue. In fact, I've also been on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Now, I don't have video from that episode. This was several years ago, but I've got a screen grab for you. If you look here, it's Jimmy doing his opening monologue. If you pay close attention and you start to look down in the left-hand corner of this photo, you're going to see, yep, that's me leaning in, sitting on the front row of The Tonight Show. So no, I wasn't featured on The Tonight Show. They didn't play videos or anything like Kimmel did, but I was in the audience. Becca and I love New York. We go there about once a year for a long weekend and just explore different areas. And one time I was able to get tickets to The Tonight Show, and we randomly got placed on the front row, and then I had a friend record the show back home, and when I got home, sure enough, you could see me there on the front row leaning in as Jimmy was giving his opening monologue. And then at the end of the episode, he said goodbye to the TV audience, and then he ran up through the crowd, and I got a screenshot of this as well. You can see me there holding my hand out, and Jimmy Fallon gives me a high five as he's exiting. And very carefully, I want you to notice that that's Becca right next to me holding her hand out, and he did not give her a high five. So I like to tell Becca every now and then when I'm trying to prove a point, I'd be like, hey, Jimmy Fallon gave me a high five. He did not give you a high five. I kind of rubbed that in her nose a little bit. So, been on The Tonight Show, not the same as what happened on Kimmel. I've also been on Late Night with Stephen Colbert. Similarly, a couple years later, we were in town. We got tickets to see Colbert. And at the very end of the episode, you can see this on TV. I've got another photo. He was saying goodnight to the audience and to the TV audience, and he had his back to the crowd. And if you look in this photo, you can see this total dweeb in the background with the striped shirt leaning out so he can be seen on camera. And yes, that's me. I was trying to get on TV, and sure enough, I did. Similar to the way Jimmy Fallon did it, after he said goodnight to the TV audience, Stephen Colbert turned around and walked through the crowd. This was not on TV, but he's walking through the crowd. No one else is reaching out or anything, but he gets up to me and I stuck my hand out. So Stephen Colbert shakes my hand and says, "Thanks for coming tonight." I said, "You bet, man." So I have actually high-fived Jimmy Fallon. I've shaken hands with Stephen Colbert, and technically I have been seen on camera in all 3 major late-night TV shows here in the United States, which is really fun. So I have never shaken hands with Jimmy Kimmel. I've never high-fived Jimmy Kimmel, but I think he kind of becomes my new favorite late-night talk show host because he actually played clips from my video right here. So after he kind of introduced me, he then said, let's show a quick endorsement advertisement that they're playing for the God Bless the USA Bible. This is what he did. He showed a little clip from that and then he cut in to my video.
And before we get to Tim's thoughts on this, let's see a bit of the commercial they're running to sell this Bible.
The God Bless the USA large print leather-bound King James Bible.
The large print leather-bound King James Bible. I wonder what Pastor Tim says.
This is not genuine leather. This is a synthetic leather. Look at that. You can even see like a crease in it. Like this one kind of got bent a little bit. This doesn't even look like leather. Honestly, it feels pretty fake and cheap to me.
A genuine leather Bible that is not made of leather.
I honestly had not seen that commercial for the Bible saying that it was genuine leather. I probably would have been even more frustrated with it had I known that they were promoting it as genuine leather, because it's not. This is 100% synthetic leather. Some people in the comments of that video, which by the way, I'm going to do a follow-up video because there's over 15,000 comments on that video and a lot of people had the same question. So I'm going to answer your questions about this Bible. Some people tried to tell me that this actually was real leather. And I'm like, no, it's not. I've made 800 of these. Jimmy Kimmel even said so. It's not real leather. You can see now what he's using my video for. Jimmy is obviously poking fun at Donald Trump and Lee Greenwood and trying to make a point about this Bible that they're using to make money. And he's using my clips because I did say some things in that video. I tried to do an honest review just talking about what I saw in the Bible, and the fact that they're promoting it one way and that it's actually something else, he's talking about that. He goes on to ask that question about where this Bible was printed. You would think that it was printed in the United States, and I clearly said in my video, it doesn't say where it's printed, and I find that a little bit suspicious. If it was printed in the United States, you think that they would show that. And he talked about that. He went back and forth. And then the last thing he did is he played a portion of my final thoughts in the video where I shared how I really feel about this Bible. To me, this feels more like a money grab than anything else. And I kind of just wish it didn't exist.
We have a pastor saying he wishes the Bible didn't exist because of Donald Trump. That's an accomplishment. It really is.
Up to this point, I kind of thought everything that Jimmy and his writers and editors were doing was totally fine. But let's be clear. I did not say I'm a pastor and I wish the Bible did not exist. My point was I wished this Bible did not exist. And also, I said very clearly in that video that I knew that Trump did not make this Bible, that all he did was endorse this Bible. So yeah, Jimmy is using my video a little bit out of context, but I think overall, the way they splice things together, the little bits that he added in there, I thought that was pretty humorous. Obviously, he has an agenda. He's a talk show host. So I get that part of it. So I wasn't offended by that. I had several people reach out to me and say, it frustrates me that he used you in a political way when your video really wasn't political, right? I didn't talk about politics. I mentioned Donald Trump at the beginning and said, the reason I'm doing this video is because Donald Trump endorsed this Bible, but then I made it very clear that he didn't create this Bible, that all he did was endorse it, that it was created by Lee Greenwood and his team. So I understand people's frustration with that, but I also think that overall, I don't feel like they used my stuff completely out of context. The answer is yes, they're allowed to do that. There's these things called fair use laws. So someone like Jimmy can take clips of my video, just like I'm taking clips of his television show in this video, and you can't just copy someone's entire show and play it on your channel or play it on your TV show. But if you add in commentary, like Jimmy's doing with my video, like I'm doing with his video, then that's totally fair under fair use laws in the United States. And so he's allowed to do that. They didn't have to ask for my permission. Obviously, I would have loved if they would have shared a link to my channel. A lot of people commented and said, your channel's about to blow up. And honestly, It didn't. I saw a boost on my review of the God Bless the USA Bible for about 48 to 72 hours, but I didn't see a ton of new subscribers, or I didn't get like a ton of new traffic for this. At the end of the day, I was a little 90-second section of his monologue that I'm sure there's millions of viewers, but some people never even thought to come find me online. And then the next day he puts out another show and the world keeps spinning. So overall, it was fun for me. I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, it was cool to see my face and my video pop up on national television. I thought the way that they did it was mostly fair and funny. It was interesting. And yeah, I have a pretty thoughtful review of this Bible that I hope people can find. Again, like I said, I'm going to do a follow-up video as well. Here's what I will say. Okay, so and I've done this a couple times on my channel recently, just kind of offering some pastoral wisdom to you. When I shared about this, I went on to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and shared clips of this already and said, hey people, check it out. I was on Jimmy Kimmel. And I was pretty shocked, honestly, by how many comments I got from people who were just saying pretty ugly things about Jimmy Kimmel. I get it if you're not a fan of his show. I get it if you're not a fan of his political views. That's absolutely fair for you to feel that way. But I don't get why you would hop in the comments and say hateful things about someone that you don't know. I don't get why people who claim to be Christians are hopping in the comments all the time. I see this in my videos and just saying ugly things about other people. I've mentioned this before, the fruits of the Spirit, but the fruit of the Spirit is not hateful comments on YouTube videos, Facebook, or Instagram posts. It's just not. And so I would encourage you, if that's you, if you're someone who likes to hop in the comments, or you find yourself hopping in the comments and getting all feisty with people, that's not a good use of your time, and it's not a good reflection of your relationship with God and your understanding of the Word of God, right? So I want Jimmy Kimmel to know that I think what he did was fine. If he ever gets to see this video, which he probably won't, I want to say thanks for putting me on your show. I think it's really cool. I'm bummed that I didn't get to give a handshake or a high five to Jimmy like I did with Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert. But maybe one day I'll get to go visit Jimmy Kimmel out in LA and say hello to him and talk about the Bible a little bit. But overall, kind of a fun experience for me, if I'm being honest. I shared in one of the Facebook groups that talk about the Bible. I think I can be safely say I'm the first person to have a Bible review featured on national television. And if anything, I hope that maybe there's a few people out there who saw me talking about this Bible and thought, oh, that seems like an interesting guy. Several people have actually left comments and said, I came to your channel because I saw you in Kimmel. Now I've watched a few videos. I really love your channel. So to those of you who found me through the Jimmy Kimmel live show, welcome to the channel. I hope you surf around. And my goal here is to help you find a Bible that's right for you. I love the Bible. I believe that it's life-changing. That's why I make these videos. I really care about helping people find one that they're going to enjoy and spend time with. And this has been a wild little situation, but I'm going to keep my head down and keep making great videos. And hopefully they will be helpful to a lot of people out there. If you have any more thoughts or questions, drop those in the comments. I will get back to you with a response. Thank you to all of you who support the channel, support me. Please come find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'll put links in the video description where you can say hi on social media. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely consider clicking the join button and becoming one of my channel members. You get some special perks that way, and I really appreciate their ongoing support. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.